Now, give it a minute. Okay, there we go. Okay, now, we'll hang on a minute. I know I'm pretty early today. I'm just okay. I know I'm up here early, but I gotta have this rant. Okay, so I'm up here. I want to have this rant, so here I go. You noticed I gave the name Serial Killers Industrial Complex. I know I'm sarcastic, ain't I? Yep, Serial Killers Industrial Complex. In other words, military industrial complex equals serial killer industrial complex. Because the majority of every single war we've all ever went to has been based on complete lies and BS, and we went out and genocided each other for a group of psychopaths so that they could have more for themselves and less for you. And now we're to a point where, well, you're about to lose everything: your freedom, the ability to own anything. You're even going to be controlled to a point that you're not going to want to be controlled to. And you're going to have absolutely no say so, and you'll trying to die if you don't do anything less to what they're telling you. This is where this comes from. So the reality is, we label people who go out and kill. They've killed more than two people. They're a serial killer. And we give them a name, and we call them a serial killer. And we got people like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer and so on. Okay? And we called them serial killers. But they haven't killed the amount of people that your so-called military's killed. Well, but that's the defenders. No, it isn't to defend you. Never has been to defend you. It's so that the people at the top can pit us against one another and watch us genocide each other. That's what that's about. That's what it's always been about. Murder for profit. That would be exactly correct. Thank you. Been a while since I've heard from this man, but I appreciate you being here anyhow. But that's exactly what this equals. This equals serial killers. Yeah. Well, you gotta grow up, become a man, and go in and let us brainwash you some more. Even though that's what we've done to you your entire life. Just about everything you've ever learned has been a lie. The majority of anything you ever learned from the time you were a kid growing up has all been a lie. All of it. Garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. That's why our attitudes and our perceptions and our division is the way it is. That's why we're all up here fighting each other. That's why men and women can't even get along. That's why men and women can't, guy can't get a date because we sat here and we made everybody into psychopaths and narcissists and self-entitled. I mean, this is right on down the line, man. I can tell you this. It's sort of like a video of one of these gals freaking out and flipping out, They might call her a care, and they might call her the videos you got out here with the ex-wives and the ex-girlfriends flipping out, okay? You know what I'm talking about. And I want you to look at that behavior, and you see this narcissist, self-entitled, psychopathic female going off the charts. Well, but that's who's running you? Do you know that's who's or making the orders that all of the military people are following? There's people just like her. People that are completely out of their damn mind. Oh, but there's no big deal if they're running us. That's good for us. Yeah, uh-huh. So I think I gave this live stream appropriate name for what I'm talking about. Because that's what it comes down to. And then, of course, we have one step further. Here's some food for thought. This is something you might want to think about. We know that mainstream media, anybody that's awake knows this, is controlled by the military-industrial complex, military media-industrial complex. Don't believe me? Go look it up. Okay? We know this already. And so the reality is here's the show. Here's what they're setting you up right now, man. They're setting the stage. This is your future. I'm talking about what's yet to come, what's going to come, and they're doing it right in your face right now. And I already know what the end results, and I know why they're doing it, and I know what the end results will be. Okay? So I'm going to give you this little rundown here. Mainstream media is the arm of all of your social engineering and programming. Everything that's gone on in 2020 and what's playing off right now in your face. Okay? The jab with that their needle they're running around with, wanting everybody to have. So you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Now you have mainstream media telling you gotta have it. Okay? And you got mainstream media showing you people being hurt. That's right, people being messed up by getting it, right? Yeah. They're reporting both sides. Okay, why would they report both sides? So you got to think about this. You got mainstream media telling you got to get it, and you got your leaders telling you to get it. You got them promoting it. You know, last time I watched Governor Reynolds, Kim Reynolds, and the last name's one of the 13 families, by the way, Reynolds. But anyhow, the elitist family, Governor Reynolds here in the state of Iowa, okay, she's, well, what can I say? The last live BS conference, I'll call it a BS conference that she had, I was watching a commercial. The entire thing was doing nothing promoting the needle. Okay? Unreal. That's just what I was watching. Then I turn around and see them, oh, all the reports on these people, okay, that have been wounded by the needle. And then I tell you, first off, anybody that would get it is retarded anyhow. Because the pharmaceutical companies and the people who created this and the people who are responsible for this are all protected. You can't sue them and you cannot prosecute them for any damages you might get from this. This right alone, without itself, is a fact. And since they've gone out of their way to promote it to you, telling you how good it is for you, and protect themselves from lawsuits and prosecution for anything that might happen after you take it, that would tell you right off the bat they're not taking it and they know it's no good for you, but they're going to make you take it, right? Then you get them telling you they're not going to make you take it. Well, they don't have to not make you take it. They just get together and all your corporations decide that you can't come to work today unless you're going to get the needle. That's how easy that works. For all the remaining jobs, which ain't going to be many, it's just going to be all corporations and big companies that are in bed with them. Well, their employees will be required to, what? Yeah. Or they won't be able to what? See, they ain't going to mandate it. They'll just threaten to take your tool out of your pocket. Then let's look at the reality. You know why mainstream media is reporting both sides? Because they want confusion. They want the people who are awake and know it's no good for you to not refuse to get. You want the other people that are all in for it, criticizing you and shaming you. That's right. You want the division. Why would they want that? Because this will give them a reason to put the serial killer industrial complex on your streets. And you'll never get them off your streets again. You're being set up. And they're going to declare that martial word, and then they're going to put them on your streets based on what they're doing right now. That's the reason mainstream media is reporting both sides. Because as long as they report both sides, promote it, sell it, it's good for you. I mean, it was warp speed, BS. Big BS alert. They already had this created before this year ever got here. Matter of fact, I guarantee you, right, probably around 2018 is when it was actually created. And it's been sitting there waiting for this day. Why do you think it was warp speed? And we're putting on a Hollywood act like everything else, just like this fraudulent election BS. And everything that you're seeing going on in the media right now, the majority of all of it is nothing but a Hollywood show. You might as well put on a soap opera, Days of Our Lives, and turn back on your television set because that's what you're seeing going on. It's nothing but Hollywood, man. It's nothing but an act, a show, to keep your mind somewhere else, to cause mass confusion, and through that, division, so that we get more civil unrest. Just like this fraudulent BS so-called election. So we get more civil unrest. So we get more division through your ability to not stand together. See, our ability to be divided, our ability to argue over opinions when you've all been lied to your entire life and not look into a thing and not pay attention to what's going on around you. Our ability to be like this is the reason they're repeating history again. This is the reason they always get by with repeating history. So what we're seeing, witnessing going on is the very reason that they've gotten by with killing millions of people before. And this is where we're going right now. They're setting you up. Just like in Nazi Germany, 7 years before all the real bad stuff happened, they started bringing in and changing things, promoting it to be a good guy, Adolf, and so on and so on, and then led into all the tyranny, step by step by step, until it happened. Well, we've already been through a bunch of them stages already, and you're moving in on the end game now. Y'all like to think it's a game? Well, you know all games do come to an end, right? And you do know what the end game is, right? I would hope so, because if you know what the end game is, then you know that you ain't got much time to be alive on this earth. Because they're going to do it again, and you're going to gladly go out there and let them do it. You're not going to do a thing about it. Or you're going to jump in them goddamn planes or whatever else, and you're going to go wherever they send you, and you're going to follow your orders. You're going to be order followers for the tool. You know, I looked at what was going on over in UK, United Kingdom, and now they have a new strain of this crap that's going on. Yeah, part 2, to the 4 steps. Okay? And I also seen a report where, not if it's true, it could be true, but I'm not going to say it is true. Oh, no, I won't say it's true, but I also won't say it's not true. I'll give you my opinion on if the report is true. Okay? Only if it's true, because I'm not going to say it is true. Well, they showed people by the hundreds trying to flee the United Kingdom because they were going into another lockdown that was going to be more intense than the first one and was going to last a lot longer. Well, do you know that's where you're going right now? That's a worldwide plan. What you're seeing going on there is coming here. Well, they showed people fleeing, trying to flee the country. And I start laughing my butt off in this report. Why was I laughing at that? Well, first off, if you got a spaceship, where are you running to? What part of NWO do you not understand? What part of this is a worldwide thing, and you've known this all year long, but you're going to run where? Where are you escaping to? What, have you got a spaceship that we don't know about? Scotty, beam me up. I'm telling you, the insanity is off the charts. That's just what I see going on. I mean, so you can't believe nothing that you're seeing. You got to question every single thing that you see, every single thing that's told to you. And you got to use that thing that's supposed to be upstairs in your head called a brain. Let's just say if they are trying to flee to another country. This is just an example. Okay? If they are, remember, I got a big if on this, okay? I'm not saying it ain't happening, but I'm also not saying it is happening. I can only give you my opinion on it, but let me just go on for here a bit. If it was happening, I furtherly laugh because the answer isn't to run. The answer isn't to show how big of a coward you are. Okay? Then we have the other issue that goes along with this. And this is your major issue. You know how they're going to get by with a needle? I'll tell you how they're going to get by with a needle. It's simple. They're going to require the leftover people who have jobs that are working for the ones that are special little snowflakes like Walmart and so on. Okay? And of course, Big Pharma, who can't be sued or prosecuted. Okay? These people, well, you're an essential worker. You're working in the food industry. You're working at the grocery store. You're working in a factory. Special, They wasn't shut down because they're special little snowflakes because they're a corporation. Okay, but see, these people, your leaders, your owners, they don't gotta force it on you. Nope, they'll just deny all responsibility and tell you it's not going to be mandated. And then you'll find out that you don't have a job if you don't get a needle. Yep, that's how they'll get you. You don't got a job if you ain't got a needle. You know what it's time to do when they do that? I'll tell you what it's time to do. It's time to create your own monetary system and walk away from theirs by the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands all over the world. Walk away from their monetary system completely, create your own, and disobey. Don't follow any orders they tell you. If they tell you to lock down, you come onto the streets by thousands and thousands everywhere. If they tell you to shut your doors, you open them up. If they tell you to put a diaper on your face, you don't. If they tell you to stay 6 foot apart, hold hands. The only way we're going to stop them, the only way we're going to save yourselves from another major genocide is to get your heads out of your you-know-what. And realize everything I'm telling you is factual. And if you want to stay divided, and you want to keep squabbling and fighting because you have more fun trying to be above somebody else, then you deserve what's coming your way. That's how I feel about that. So if you want to continue to stay divided here in the manosphere, and you think it's all a game and it's all this and it's all that, okay? It's about to get real ugly and real nasty. You ain't even seen nothing yet. But you're about to. You sure are. Oh, yeah, you're about to. You watch and see how 2021 is going to play out for you. I'll guarantee you before it's over, you're going to be wishing like all God's hell that you had listened. And you had opened your eyes and looked around you. So, this is the reason I come up here. Because they're playing it right in your face. You got mainstream media reporting both sides of this needle. While you have the industry that created it protecting themselves so that you can't sue or you can't prosecute. And then telling you how good it is for you. So remember when I said about the Karens and the ex-wives and the things and ex-girlfriends and these videos of this woman just out of her damn mind screaming at the top of her lungs, complete nut job right on camera, right? But then you say, well, that's because she's a narcissist, she's a psychopath. I agree. But that's who you have running, you dummies. Who do you think's running this world? People that act just like that. They're full of self-entitlement issues. Who do you think? What do you think? The bankers are so corrupt? They're just like her. Yeah, so the next time you watch a Karen video or you watch a public freak out video and you're looking, or the ex-girlfriend video and you're looking at this behavior, I want you to think about the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the J.P. Morgans and the Reynolds and, the 13 families that are giving the orders. And I want you to think about your politicians. And I want you to recognize that's them. That is them. That is how they act. They're full of self-entitlement issues. And they're one step better. They think they're gods. That's right. They're worse than the Karens you're seeing. So, in the reality of things, this is, you got to realize this. The answer isn't running, and the answer isn't, well, I got to let them put a needle. I got to have a needle because I got to have a job because I got to be able to. You're depending on a system that has been designed to take you out. They're bringing in a fourth industrial revolution, which means everything is changing. Everything. No, there's not a call from there. Bye. There you go. So anyhow, they're bringing in the fourth industrial revolution along with Agenda 21 playing in your face NWO all year long. And they're doing it right in your face. And for anybody who still can't see it by now, I don't think there's any hope for you. I really don't think there's any hope for you. I think the dumb pill has fried your brains. And I hate to be sarcastic about that, but then the real fact is if you can't see what's going on by now, you're a lost cause. You ain't got much upstairs. You don't possess common sense or critical thinking skills. Or you're just a big, big yellow coward. Okay, that's your reality. Well, why ain't I live streaming on Saturdays anymore? Well, I told you when I was doing the live streams, if I was going to do it once a week, I wanted people to anticipate. I wasn't coming up and ranting by myself for friggin' 2 hours every Saturday. Okay? You people decided you had to go to other channels and watch other stuff, and the numbers got lower and lower and lower, and less people and less people and less people you want to anticipate. So I shut it down. I warned you that I would. What can I say? I warned people ahead of time. I told people this ahead of time, but you chose not to listen. It's not my fault. It's your fault. And I'm not saying all of you, but I'm telling you, it's not my fault. That's your fault. Because if you ain't got time for me to be here on Saturday night, and you can't have other than just somebody to come in there besides just myself, because you didn't care, well, then why should I care? Obviously, it wasn't that important to you. I didn't have to do it to begin with. I done it from my heart because I wanted to. But if I get no respect, you get what you dish. Give no respect, get no respect. Now, if you don't like that, oh well. That's how the cookie crumbles, man. It isn't like I just did not just up and fucking blow boom. I warned you all more than one time. And I'm not playing competition against other people that want to go out of their way to make sure they live stream at the same time as me. So then you got used to me being there, you can run over to them. No, it's not a competition thing. That's what's also going to get you dead. You're so busy competing against each other that you can't stand up together to stop what's going on. You're so busy competing against each other, you just got to continue to do it. The very thing that's keeping you divided. And if you're not competing against each other, you're chasing after the tool. And you dump on anybody for the tool. Well, that's just how they got us where we're at, because the people behind this own the tool. You have to take that away from them. You have to give the tool, the monetary system, back to its people. Or you need to create another one and walk away from theirs. But if you're not going to do that, you've lost. You can't win. If you're going to keep having to have their tool, you lost. If you're not going to take it away from them or create a new one, you lost. End of story. You couldn't win if you tried. I don't even know why you're pretending to fight, because that's what you're doing. We're where we're at because of division and because of many, many years of programming and social engineering, and the majority of everything you're being taught being a lie. And the only accurate information you ever got is only fragments of the real truth. And most of you too goddamn lazy, excuse my language, but to go look for yourself into things and then just sit back and watch what's going on in society and start comparing and finding the truth. Most of you are too scared to do it, or you know it's there and you're too scared to speak out, or you want to fit in with the rest. Don't worry, there's going to be plenty of room in that big old hole they dropped your corpse in. There ain't going to be out of room. There'll be plenty of room for you. Or in the furnaces they're incinerating your bodies in, there'll be plenty of room. Don't worry, they ain't going to run out of room. There's no running out of room, It's just retarded. We're not overpopulated. The majority of everything's a lie. But that's what happened to your Saturday night, okay? It's the reason I don't come up on Saturday night, because I done told you, freaking told you more than one time. And then it just kept getting less and less people wanting to show up. And then pretty soon it was just me talking. So okay, you liked it so much that when somebody else started doing something at the same time as me, that's where you ran. I don't care. You couldn't anticipate no more. You didn't have time to be part of what you claim you wanted. You can't claim you want something if you're not willing to be part of. I didn't have to do it to begin with. I done it because I wanted to. And I would have kept it going if people would have really wanted to be anticipating, and I'd have somebody coming in. Okay? They wanted to anticipate to keep the show going. People were there. But if you're going to run off, you're not going to be calling in and you know what I'm saying? If you can't come on the show and you're going to run off and go visit other people, I don't need to be here. Why do I want to waste my time? What for? It's the reason I don't do anything anymore. I come up what I feel like coming up like today. And what I started talking about when I came on here, that was the reason I come up here today. And so, I'm not trying to be mean to any of you, but you ask why I don't do something on Saturday night no more, I gave you your answer. There's your answer. I'm not calling names neither, okay? I'm not specifically pointing at one person, okay? I'm not about to do that, okay? Because that's just not right. I mean, Armchair's in here, been in this chat, and he was on several of my live streams, so I'm not criticizing him either. He took his time out to come in them shows. But when pretty majority walks away and nobody wants to show up no more, then what do you expect, okay? And then you got other people wanting to come in there and try to play competition with you, knowing what time you did the show every week and showing up at that time to start their own shows and was smirking under their breath while they were doing it, because all a game. Well, I don't play games. You want to play the game? I ended it for you. The game was over just that quick. Well, then there's that person towards the end. Came in there ranting and raving and threw all the TFLers under a bus. Totally disrespected me. That guy sat there and promoted the very thing, TFL, for 13 freaking years. Almost 14 years. And out of nowhere, for one person he don't even know the name of, and for an entity that came out of a university that was deliberately created for what they're doing with it, that's why it went worldwide. He gonna run over and choose that? Well, go ahead and choose that. I don't care. But he totally disrespected me. He could have done that behind the scenes. He didn't have to come up publicly live. He didn't want me coming up live and saying anything against him. But he had no problem with coming up live and slamming me and trying to get me to freaking throw everybody under the bus that was TFL. No, I'm not fighting Steve. I'm only telling you what happened. I don't talk to Steve. I don't have no reason to talk to him anymore. He couldn't even live up to his own freaking rule that he wanted, the guidelines he set to prevent any kind of argument or any disagreements between us, which I totally agreed to. But somehow he thought he was a special little snowflake, that his own rules didn't apply to him, that he was somehow above me and he could come up on a live stream and do that to me. There was never no sorries from him. Well, he's not a special little snowflake. He come up on the live stream and he done that to me, and other people had walked away and nobody was hardly anticipating anymore. So between the combination, I said, well, I warned everybody, bye, and I left. That's how that works. Yeah, Steve ran away with first. That would be the right answer there, Corey. Steve ran away with first. Threw all the TFLers under the bus. He didn't mind. I don't put up with the shit no more, okay? That's it. And I'm not going to do something for people who don't have respect. And some people, I'm not even going to put up with their shit. They're just gone. Have to do what I have to do. Yeah, I booted somebody from the chat. That's right. They're over there in the internet, sort of in the internet corner with their nose in a wall for starting shit. They want to come in here and be a smart ass, no problem. They're out of here. Bye. Don't you know how I handle that crap? I don't put up with it. I could sit here and watch what you people say, and I'll answer legit questions. So you ask me the question, Why I didn't do a Saturday Night Live no more, why I shut the show down, or shut what I did down. And I told you why. Okay? So you got your answer. There was two major combination things that led me to say, fuck it, I'm out of here. And that's what I did. See, because I did it because I wanted to from my heart, because I care. Because I'm trying to stop what's going on in this world. But all of you, most of you people out here, you all want to keep what's going on in this world. You love your tyranny, you love your division. But you're not going to love what's coming your way. And we can't stop what's coming our way if we're going to continue acting like a bunch of little children. You know, and I gave appropriate name to this live stream because it is the serial killer industrial complex. Always has been and always will be. And there ain't no serial killer, not Ted Bundy, not John Wayne Gacy, not Jeffrey Dahmer, don't care who it is, female or male, there's no serial killer worldwide that's ever killed more than the name of this video. I know what you're saying about the weather. And that's happening up in Pennsylvania too. No, there's nothing normal about this weather at all, man. Nothing normal at all. I've got a feeling it's because military's been screwing with the weather too much. I mean, they've been controlling the weather for many, many years now. And they've got it down to an art. I mean, the winters I'm seeing here in Iowa, last winter and this winter so far, unfucking believable. I mean, you know, unbelievable. From cold to warm to cold to warm. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. Today's supposed to be up in the 40s. This is freaking just short of being what? I should have been cold weather with snow on the ground out there. And I'm supposed to be up in the 40s. Well, that's it. But you know, I agree with you, Corey. You need a co-host. You need somebody that's willing to anticipate. Well, I couldn't get nobody that wanted to be a regular anticipator to begin with. Nobody wanted to come up and co-host and be business-minded, to be responsible enough to be there once a week at that time. That wasn't happening. Nobody could do that. So you got to think about that. So I understand what Corey's saying because he's correct. Well, the division amongst the genders has to go away, but that's not going to go anytime soon because they've just spent 50 years dividing the genders, if not a lot longer. They've got people's brains so warped and the genders so divided, good luck. You have self-entitled narcissist psychopaths for women, the majority of them, not all of them, and then the spoiled ass men. That's what you have, and that's the mentality of these flip outs you see up on YouTube. That's the mentality of the elite. What do you think happened to them? You gave them the monetary system and you gave them control of the entire planet. Now, billions of people sat back and gave the control of the entire planet, including all the monetary systems, to a handful of people. And billions of people all over the world are just letting this handful of people troll you, kill you, do whatever they want with you. You even all get together and call yourself military. And you jump out there and genocide other people as they pit us against each other. And they sit back at the top all working together. What do you think, these governments are really fighting each other? Are you out to lunch in your head? They're giving you a Hollywood act. They're pretending to fight each other. Then they're going to send you for their act over there to kill innocent people, and you're going to do it. Then they're going to send their troops over to kill more innocent people, and they're going to do it. Order followers. People that ain't got one lick of common sense in their head. I'm telling you, common sense and critical thinking skills went out the door. It don't even exist anymore. Sad. So sad. The state of affairs, the world we're living in right now. So sad. Makes me glad that I'm at the end of my road, guys. That I probably don't got much longer to be around. And I won't be here no more. And I have no problems with that. When I look around me seeing what's going on and how dumb people become, and how you don't look into anything and you just believe wholeheartedly what your box in your living room plugged into the wall tells you. How your God is a television set or the tool. One or the other is your God. You won't look into a thing because you're too damn lazy for that. You won't pay attention to what's going on around you, compare it to see if it's for real or it's a lie. Too damn scared for that. I mean, that's where this comes from. See, that's how you handle that crap. They could just create 25 new ones before time. Now they're in the internet corner too. See how that works? Go ahead, you can bring back your other one. I don't care. I have no problem with that. See how that works? I can keep building the list. You can keep creating them, and I can keep building the list. I don't care. See, that's our childish behavior right there. You're witnessing the children, the reason that millions are going to die again coming into this room. You're actually witnessing the real reason that millions and millions of people all over the world are going to be dead. I'm having to put them in a corner like a little child. That is the reason. See, at least you get to witness the reason, huh? Oh, I get that. I totally get that, Dave. It's unfucking believable what I'm seeing going on and how they can play this stuff out in people's face and how people are just so freaking beyond. I mean, it's, oh my God. Sometimes I think the brains are still in their package with the installation instructions there and not even hooked up. Swear to God, they got a head with brains in it that's still in its package. You know, it's still got the plastic around it. Nothing's been hooked up with the instructions how to install a brain. And their brains hasn't been installed. Well, I see Peter's here. Well, how's it going, Peter? So, so we have Peter and Dave in here anyhow. I do have Zoom on if anybody wants to come in. You can hit me up on Zoom. I'll bring you in if you want. I'm not saying you have to. I don't know how long I'll be up here. If somebody comes in, of course, it'll be longer. You know how that works. But I had to talk about what I was talking about here because the reality is, I think the title to the video, to the live stream, fits perfectly. It absolutely fits perfectly. Well, that's not Peter neither. So we'll take care of that problem too. See, that's one of the people I was telling you about. That's probably first again, or somebody with that kind of mind. Yep, it's that kind of a mind again. It's probably first or something like that again. I really don't care. So I just keep blocking them. I don't care. You can keep coming back and I can keep removing you. It's no big deal. I'm only going to tell you that we're all in deep shit. And at least you're getting to witnessing the type of people that's going to be responsible for billions of people's deaths. See, they're too stupid to be alive. At least you actually get to witness what I'm talking about because they're coming in here and saying, that's me, that's me. That's what they're doing. When you see me having to throw people out of the room, them are the people I've been talking about the entire time. See, and that's the people I'm talking about the entire time. So at least you're getting to witness the reason you're going to be dead. The reason so many are going to die is because these people literally don't have no brains. I think the brains are still in the package inside their skull and never been hooked up. They don't have common sense. They don't have anything. I mean, they're a waste of space and time and everything. They're the idiots. What can you say? You can't do anything. I mean, how do you fix stupid? I mean, I don't know how to tell you but to fix stupid. See, they got more channels than cars got pills, and I got more time to do that than you got 5 channels. Don't bother me, honey. Just comes to show. So you could have keep freaking removing them. But just the same, I think the name of the live stream fits, and you want to pay attention to your television set. That's really what you want to pay attention to. Because the reality is that they're putting in your face right now. They're actually promoting the needle and then turning around and showing you bad side effects. In a system that protected itself from lawsuits or prosecution. And they're putting this in your face because it's about civil unrest. It's about confusion. Confusion, anger, scared. It's about keeping you scared, keeping you confused, keeping you angry, keeping you divided. That's what this is all about. And this is what people can't see. That's why I said it's going to get a whole lot worse. What you're witnessing overseas is what's coming here. And if you don't think so, you just wait till after this next month gets here. You're about to find out the hard way. You know, the funny thing is even on my last live stream when Harry was in here with me, we've talked about this stuff needlessly for hours on end. Harry sees the same thing I see. He knows, just like I know, where we're going. And you know, and I've told everybody this every time I come up. And I haven't been off base too much now, have I? Because everything I've told you is going to happen has now been playing in your face. It's not going away. Had a lot of people say it's going away as soon as the election's over. No, it isn't. I told you, no, it's not. Look overseas. They don't have elections going on over there. Not like here. What's going on over there in UK? There you go. Pay attention to what's going on around you. This is not going away. And they're raising the numbers to get off a fraudulent test. They're committing open fraud on everybody. Carrie Mullen is the creator of the test, who openly said straight out it can never be used. never be used to diagnose pathogens or viruses of any kind. And that's the very test that they're using. That's called fraud. On a massive scale, they're committing fraud. And through their lies and their fraud, they're shutting businesses down. That very well could be. Yeah, that's the catalyst to bringing the end of our world, to bringing in NWO, to complete genocide of billions of people. That is the catalyst. That is the horse right there. And if the report out of United Kingdom of hundreds of people trying to flee is real, that just shows stupidity. Because first off, they ain't going to tell me they didn't know it wasn't worldwide. And they somehow think they're going to get to somewhere better. Not understanding that everything that's going on there is going to happen worldwide and there's nowhere to run unless you get your spaceship. And that running isn't the answer. That standing together and stop the division and stop acting like children and taking the monetary system away from who has it or creating a new one and walking away from theirs is the only answers. If you want to stop the corruption, you got to stop the lies. You got to stop the games. You got to stop treating each other the way you don't want to be treated yourselves. If you wanted the live streams on Saturday nights, then somebody should have anticipated. And I'm not talking to the people who did. But you got to have a co-host, and nobody was wanting that position. Or I got to have anticipation from other people. And people wasn't wanting to do that neither. So, you don't care, I don't care. That's how that works. You don't respect me, I don't respect you. That is how that works. If you don't like that philosophy, then grow up. Learn that when you give respect, you get respect. If you want something like that, then you need to anticipate too. If you're not going to anticipate, you're just going to sit there and type and hide yourself and never say nothing and not be willing to be part. I mean, it's just it's retardedness. Okay? You're so afraid of what somebody else might think of you, you've already lost. You couldn't win, you're too weak. Oh, hell yeah, them ones on TV of Pence getting it, blah, blah, blah. Fake. Bullshit. BS. That was a gigantic BS alert. Remember I told you the sales pitch for selling it? That's exactly what they're doing. And while they're doing sale pitches to sell it, they're also giving you the other end of it. Scaring the bejesus out of me. No, I'm not getting that. No, I'm not. Yeah, that's what they want. That way we're confused, we're divided. Many people say no, many people say yes. They can cause mass hysteria, and then they can freaking declare a natural disaster or whatever, declare that damn word. That's right. They can lock you all down again under the N-words. They put the military on your streets. You know, the order followers, this serial industrial complex. The serial killers industrial complex, that's who they'll put on your streets. They'll put all the mindless zombies on the streets with guns in their hands. The order followers for the tool, who thinks they're doing something good because the brains in their head are still in the package unhooked. That's exactly what's going to happen. I got mine, you're getting yours. Just like that fucking diaper on the face. You see how many people fucking, even on the Karen videos, idiots fucking That's a Karen. They refuse to put on a diaper on their face. That's a Karen. No, the Karen is the one making the video saying that calling the person who's not wearing the diaper on their face a Karen. That's the real Karen. I don't care if you're the channel owner or not. The minute you call somebody who refuses to put the diaper on their face a Karen, you're a Karen yourself. They're not a Karen at all. They actually got a brain, and they're using it. I don't put the diaper on my face. I went into Walmart just the other day with my son, and freaking gal at the freaking rail grabbed a box of masks and was trying to force me to put one on, and I just walked up by her and she rah at me, running her mouth. I didn't care. It kept right on going. Screw you. You don't got a doctor's license, and if you went on to any legit medical website and started looking it up, you'd find out it's told you by the medical establishment for many, many decades to not wear one of them on this type of basis that they're expecting you to wear. That it would be detrimental to your health. Then you think about the jab or the needle when you think about the people that's already on a high freaking dose of prescription big pharma drugs already. And you already got them in your system and they're going to want to stick this lab rat. I mean, that's what you are, you're lab rats. Don't you realize you're all lab rats? You're lab rats by the definition of even when I know it was pretty much sitting already ready to go in 2018. But because they lied to you and told you it was warp speed, and you're still running out taking something like that, and protected themselves from lawsuits and prosecution, and you're still going to go get it, that's a lab rat, okay? And they think all of us are lab rats. And if it has a bad first side effect or if it mixes with the other pharma drugs in your system and kills you, so what? No big deal. It's one less person alive. You can't sue me. You can't prosecute me. Because I'm above you. I'm a god. That's their mentality. I told you they're worse than the Karens. They're like the flipped out Karens or the X's that you see all over YouTube. Screaming and self-entitled, narcissist, psychopathic people that you see filming for entertainment. Well, that's what your leaders are like. Oh, hell yeah, that's what your leaders are like. They're all on power trips. They're all narcissistic psychopaths. And you're allowing them to run you. Then you wonder why you're having the results you're having. What a joke. You're having the results you're having because you're allowing it. Yeah, I would agree. That's the point I'm at right now, outside of doing my little rant. What else are you going to do? You can't get these zombies, these brain dead people to understand. You watch how people act in the manosphere. You see it. Even hell by the dashboard light. You hear it, you see it. The cracks he's made. Okay, you could tell the guy's just either completely ignorantly stupid or he's just turned his back and looking the other way. Or he's just so depressed that, well, everybody deserves it because I'm unhappy. The brainwashing of our society has been very, very effective. It has messed many people up. Oh, yeah, that's correct. It'll be cut off, and there's going to be food shortages everywhere. You watch, there'll be food shortages, there'll be starvation, there'll be disease, famine, you know. You're going to watch people starve, you're going to watch power outages, you're going to watch people freeze, die frozen, die without food. Water will become contaminated, won't even have fresh water. You watch. It's only just beginning. You people think because you went through 2020 and you're at the end now that Oh, thank God it's almost over. No, it ain't. You barely entered stage 2. There's 4 stages, and you just barely into stage 2. No, it ain't. It ain't over. It's about to get a whole lot worse. By the time you get to 3 and 4, it's going to be majorly worse. I'm sure by the time you hit step 4, there'll be millions and millions of people dying. It's unreal how many people I see that are sound asleep or scared out of their goddamn minds. Putting a diaper on their face, believing like a god that their television set will never lie to them, when that's all it's ever done. Because they're so hooked into their lies, their programming, that they couldn't see the truth if it was staring them right in the face. Yeah, I know. They're going to sit there and breathe in their CO2 and then say they won't take the jab. Yes, they will. When they're told they have to have it to keep their job, watch. They'll go out and get it because they're being controlled by the tool. See, now's the time that we have to rise up. It's not the time to freaking just go along. Them days are over. You're either going to rise up or you're going to be dead. They won't have to make it mandatory. That's why I said that earlier. No, they don't. They don't got to make it mandatory anywhere. All they got to do is tell you can't come back to work until you get the jab. That's right. They'll use the tool as a weapon against you. And then they'll use you against you too, just like we're seeing with the diaper on your face. Other citizens that are sheep that hasn't looked into a damn thing, that are scared shitless following orders, will be standing there on a power trip at the grocery store or wherever you're at, trying to tell you how you have to put a diaper on your face. Trying to order you around. That's what you'll see. Sad. Yeah, I understand you. You gotta, I mean, oh my God. I'm talking about what is that, Mitchell there? Mr. Frost there? Yeah, saying he's got a brother. I do understand that. There's lots of people who have family members that are sound asleep. And these family members will think you're nuts when you tell them what's going on. They'll be running right down there to get stuck. They sure will. And they won't have the first clue of what they're doing when they do it. And you know, the sad thing is they get sick from it, they get handicapped from it, crippled from it, die from it. You ain't got a leg to stand on. Because they protected themselves because it's good for you. You know, if it's good for you, then you can't prosecute us and you can't sue us because it's good for you. Well, if you have to protect yourself against prosecution or being sued, that automatically tells you it's no good for you. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But you're not supposed to know that part because they're not going to tell you that part. And if somebody tells you that part, they're going to say, oh, it's just a conspiracy theorist. But if you go look up the laws, you'll find out it's actually not a conspiracy theorist. It's for real. But like always, they're going to lie to you. What do you think everybody's going to tell the truth in a lying world? There's your answer. That's how we got here. I don't care about anybody but me. That's right. That's how we got here. That's why we're at right now. See, Patrick's part of the problem. He just showed you his true colors. Dave, I agree with you on this. I just wanted to come up here and rant for a while this morning. I was in that mood. So I needed to vent. So I come up here to vent. I mean, Patrick right there was telling you all about it. That's the problem right there. I don't care about anyone but me. That's the mentality right there. See, that person right there is going to be responsible for billions of people dying. That person right there doesn't deserve anything. That person right there actually would deserve to be one of the first people to lose everything. I have no food, no nothing. Yep, Patrick would be one of the first people that should be without food and without money. He should have to experience what he's promoting. And when he whines about it, you laugh at him. Because that's the mentality that got us where we're at right now. I don't know what to tell you, man. At least I got plenty of people giving you examples of the people I'm talking about. At least they're saying, that's me. I don't mind them doing that. They want to say that's me and point themselves out to you as a complete, utter idiot. Part of the problem, part of the reason where we're at right now. Then go ahead. Stick your nose up there. I don't care. There's not much I can do. I've got some really good people here. When you're talking about Dave, Dave's a good man. I like Dave. I mean, there are good people out here. I just wish to God people would get their heads out of their ass and people would start caring about other people as much as they care about themselves. See, there you go. You're not going to love it in the end. You may think you're funny right now, but you won't be loving it in the end. I wish there could be cameras on you in the end. And we could show the real you in the end of the world. Oh, you wouldn't like that at all. But you'd deserve it. Yep, you sure would. You'd deserve it. You'd have it coming your way. You'd have earned every bit of it, too. The only thing I hope for you is you're amongst some of the first people to lose out, not have no food, no electric, no whatever. I hope that Patrick there's amongst some of the first people, because he won't be loving it then. But then Patrick will probably be one of them that'll put a gun in his mouth and off himself because he'll be too weak. That's probably who Patrick is. And the elite will like him for that. They will thank him for killing himself, unfortunately, because we live in a sick world. Because we do. We live in a very, very sick world. I mean, the majority of people are completely brain dead. You're allowing psychopathic, narcissistic, self-entitled creeps to run you. You won't stand up for yourselves. You won't stand together and just simply say no. The majority of you are worried about fitting in with people around you. Like I said earlier, man, don't worry about fitting in. There'll be plenty of room in that freaking furnace they're disintegrating your body in, or the hole in the ground they're shoving your corpse into. That's exactly right, Dave. I totally agree with what you're doing. That's what everybody should be doing while they have the chance. And if you're in an area that has cold climate in the wintertime, you also need to do more than that. You need to think about getting ways to keep yourself warm to survive with no power. Because if your power goes out, don't think for one moment it won't go out in the middle of January or February, because you bet you it will. They'll freeze people to death and they won't care. And if you don't get the right stuff in line to defend yourself, to be able to keep yourself to survive through this shit, you're not going to survive. And there's absolutely no way of guaranteeing you how much you'll be able to survive depending on where you live to begin with. The only chance any of us stand is to start standing together and simply saying no. And then we have to take the monetary system away from who has it. Worldwide, you have to give it back to the people. You have no choice. You have to, if your job says you have to get the stick, you have to be jabbed, or you can't come back to work. That's when I would say if you were all adults, you would just simply, everybody just simply not go to work. Everybody. Watch how fast that company will swallow, but there's 50 million other people to take their place. Yes, there is, unfortunately. I mean, it's sad because we could stop them so easy, but it's not so easy when people are so brain dead. It's just not so easy. Not when people are brain dead. I mean, how do I fight back something like this? Really? How do I combat it? I mean, I would love to stop what's going on, but I don't see any way of doing so. I mean, it's just a matter of time. Wait and see.
Hey, Bill.
Hello, Corey. How are you?
Doing all right. I mean, for the being this fucked up world, I'm just doing.
That's about all you can be in this messed up world.
In the belly of the beast. So I understand what you're saying. I'm totally in agreement. And the bullshit that goes on, man. Mike Gantz wear the face diaper, all the bullshit going on.
Oh, it's
But it's still cool to
nonstop.
be gay, though. It's still cool to be gay, but you have to wear
Oh
a diaper.
well, yeah, of course it is. It's okay to be gay. And
But but you can't
put
have a
your
gun, but
diaper
you
on your
can.
face, and make sure you stay 6 foot apart. Don't worry, next year when we up the antes, it'll be 12 foot apart.
Mhm. Maybe 100 feet apart.
Yep. And then it'll be, oh no, you can't leave your house. You can't go no more than 10 centimeters or something. It'll be something
There'll be a
stupid.
RoboCop on the street. If you go out your house, he shoots you with the automatic Beretta. If you go out
I
your
think
house.
you'll have military on the streets. You'll have drones above your head. You'll have robots on the street. You'll have a combination of everything.
Watching that 1987 RoboCop. That's our future. We got it's ridiculous and all. And then you saw you watch Kevin. I don't know if you're familiar with the guy Kevin Samuels.
I'm not too sure. Go ahead and inform me.
Okay, he's a middle-aged black dude that is a businessman and he's a fashion consultant basically, right? He has a YouTube channel that's got pretty popular. He's throwing shade on MGTOW, but basically he isn't entertaining because he makes it where single moms call into his show talking about they want a man with money, but their baby daddy didn't have money. So then he's like always tells them like your first man didn't have money. So why are you trying to all of a sudden upgrade when you have more baggage from the first man? So why the fuck are you trying to get like this rich guy for no fucking reason? Have you earned that?
Yeah.
So black women are all mad. There's one black feminist that's called like the Rebecca Pope. She went there went on maybe YouTube video and cried. Said he talked to her so mean. He didn't say to her anything mean to that woman. The single mom that called in. All he did was say, "Yo, you got a kid. You own a little doggy daycare business, but that don't mean shit. You're 35 years old with a kid. A rich guy, 25-year-old rich businessman gonna want you."
Yeah. Well, the thing is like this morning before I come up here, Corey, I was looking at this video. I paused it, okay? And you got this ex-girlfriend outside the door beating on the glass and saying, "Let me in." And the guy's inside talking, trying to talk to her all calmly. And he tells her no, and she orders him, "Let me in," and screaming at the top of her lungs. I mean, she literally screaming at the top of her lungs, and she's pounding on the glass and the door and walking around throwing herself all over the place. And I'm looking at that saying, "Yep, that's the people who run the world."
Yeah,
Don't
brain
get
dead
one of your
idiots.
wants. You got to order it. If they don't comply, oh, look at that flip out. Yep, that's the people
Brain dead
running our
idiots.
world.
Brain dead idiots believing in COVID, believing in the feminist woman, thinking that she can just fucking just go off and do her throw temper change and no consequences. Man did that shit, he'd be beaten with the fucking tofas by the police.
Yeah.
No media, if he's white, no media coverage.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he's white, we ain't gonna give him no media coverage.
One,
The sad thing, Corey, is the facts are the facts. You have a lot of blacks that are being discriminated against, and you have a lot of whites being discriminated against, but nobody reports that.
yeah,
They want to
there was
report
a yeah, there was a
one-sided because they want to steer the division. They want us fighting.
yeah, and one was in there fighting with our other brothers from different parts of the world, thinking worrying about fucking color, skin color. When fucking a parakeet doesn't give a fuck if a one parakeet red, one parakeet green, they all fucking friends. But human beings, we look at the way they do prison. They make it where the blacks, and that's the thing, like the West Coast
Oh yeah, I
prisons, the
know. You
blacks
got the
fight the whites, and
Mexicans
the
here,
fight
and the
the blacks,
blacks
and the
there,
blacks.
and the whites over here, and the Asians over there, and we all have our own turf in a prison that never belonged to us to begin with, and we're all beating the crap out of each other and trying to kill each other at every chance we get. Okay, because we love each other. Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, love you. Yeah, love being with other punks and shit, fighting over drugs and punks. Some stupid shit. But
It
that's what we're
is,
turning them
and
into,
you look
man.
at society, and you look at the division between the genders, and you come on the manosphere, and you just flip out on some of the stuff I see people say, and you realize the division amongst the genders is really awful. Okay, you got a lot of very self-entitled narcissist females that we created, by the way. They're just like your leaders at the top, narcissist, self-entitled psychopaths. Okay, and then out of the men that are narcissist, self-entitled psychopaths, well, that would be that 10% that still get women. Okay, are the rich kids that were boys that grew up as a guy that was everything was handed to them on a silver platter.
Yep.
Okay, they're just as bad as the women. Okay, because they
Those
never
50
had
Shades of
responsibility.
Grey types.
Yeah.
Those 50 Shades of Grey Batman types where they walk around with a rich, pretty boys and get all the bitches. Yeah, we know those type of dudes because they were born with a silver spoon up their ass. So I went on a date with a single mom a month ago. To the bitch talking about she wanted a guy to bankroll her when she got three. She was married though, at least, but she had didn't tell you that on her fucking dating profile. Talking about she wants a man to bankroll her. I was thinking
Oh
like
yeah, of
no, she
course.
didn't say it directly. She didn't say it directly, but she said, "I want to upgrade. I want to upgrade and
Well, that is saying it
pay for my
directly as far
kid."
as I'm concerned, because the minute she said she
Mm-hmm.
wants to upgrade, she's talking about a man. You already know what she's talking about. There's no
Mm-hmm.
explanation needed. Okay, that's a gold
Yeah.
digging piece of crap.
She gave me a cigarette. We met at Starbucks. She was
You didn't
late.
have to
I
pay her
was about
ten
to scold
dollars
her,
for.
but
You
she
didn't have to give her $10 for a cigarette.
nope. She just
Okay,
gave
you
me one.
go. Yeah.
That was the only thing I got from her. A cigarette. She
Yeah, she
bitched and
probably
moaned about
hoped
her
if you
life.
give, she'd give you a cigarette, whatever, if you get together with her, then she can make up for that cigarette by charging you 5,000 packs.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be equivalent of. She wants another baby. But she didn't. She thought I just wanted casual sex. She's like, "Oh, what do you want from this date?" I just said have a good time, and then she probably just thought I wanted even though I was diplomatic and tactful about it. She just discerned that I wanted just casual
Oh, I
sex, so
get it, bro.
she
If
ghosted
I'd
me because
never met, if I just now meeting her and I didn't know her, I wouldn't care how she attractive she was. I just want to
she
get
wasn't
to.
that attractive. She wasn't very
Well,
attractive. She was a chubby chick and with
well,
tattoos.
even
And
so,
not even
you know what I
attractive.
would do? Okay, even with that, you know what how I would handle that? I just want to have a good time, and I'd take her out to a movie, or go out to some drive-through because you can't go in nowadays. Okay, you know, and I'd give her a good time, and then I'd drop her off at home and give her a hug goodbye, not even a kiss, and that'd be that. Okay. And if you want to get to know me and take the time to actually get to know me, maybe we'll move further than that. Okay. This is the problem you have in the dating scene is everybody thinks it's about getting laid.
Yeah,
Okay. They're all fucked up
yeah,
in the
that is
head.
true. That
They
you
don't
always say that.
understand that is what's destroyed the genders.
Yeah, and that's why I say that the MGTOWs like have attacked TFL, but you make some great points about how it's all about even some of the like Undead Chronic, he's a MGTOW guy. He's all about just getting laid and shit like that. And it's like, dude, you sometimes you need to slow down and try to pick a more quality female than just trying to just get your dick wet. I'm sorry if I'm
Well,
cussing, so
I
I
don't
don't know
care.
if
I
that
don't
affects
care
your
that you
channel.
said that myself, okay? Because you're just speaking reality, okay, of what's going on in today's society. I get criticized because I tell people you got to slow down and take time to get to know each other. I get cut down. Well, that's not the way it works in today's world, Bill. Okay. Well, that's the reason you're all divided. And that's the reason no relationship lasts. That's the reason you're where you're at right now, dummies.
Even blue pillars are they still get married, man. Divorce is 50-60% rate. I wonder why. One of the women are so pregnant, they want to get a better deal, and then two, men are just going for the first female looks at them twice and wonder why they having bad results.
Yeah. You can't be about getting in somebody's pants and ever get anything meaningful. If you're ever going to have somebody who's going to be in your life, it's like when I had mentioned to Jerry that he thought TFL was just guys wanting to get laid. And he says, I can show him how to get laid in a week, right? And I says to Jerry, I says, TFL isn't about getting laid. He says, well, then what would it be about? I says, it's about a guy wanting to meet one woman, one good woman that would be compatible with him, that they could become best friends and they could grow together and have kids. And he says, well, why would anybody want that? Then you wonder why we're where we're at, huh? There you are.
Yeah, that's the purpose of life, even though it's fucked up now. I understand why guys are going MGTOW, even the guys that can't get women, why they're going MGTOW, because women are so toxic. They're just brainwashed so toxic today compared to 1950, to where they are just so entitled. You have fat, ugly single moms demanding guys bankroll them. It's like, what type of Twilight Zone nightmare is this?
Yeah. It don't go away. I mean, you got people like Dave that spent his whole life being alone, was rejected his whole life. And he's pretty much past it now. He's not bothered by it no more. But it's so unfair. It's so unright. It's so evil. But
Yeah,
that's the world we live
how
in. It is. It's quite evil, but they had to do that. If they didn't divide us to that point, we would be standing up right now.
right? We wouldn't be just spinning over and taking this COVID mask shit like a fucking fool. Like people are still, I mean, but still people are still partying in North Florida. People still partying, don't give a fuck. More, by and large, they don't give
They
a
think
fuck.
somehow
But
they're
out
not
here
going
in
to be
Texas,
affected
they
by it,
just
but they're wrong.
yeah, out here in Texas is more strict, which is Texas supposed to be all this conservative, individualistic state, but still they're enforcing this COVID shit hard. There's a curfew and shit. They're enforcing this shit hardcore. Like viruses go to sleep at night. I didn't know viruses had a bedtime.
Well, I laugh at the fact that you could walk into a restaurant when I was up in Colorado. Okay, what August last time I was in Colorado, but I was in Colorado in the middle of August, and you look at what's going on, and you look at the mandates, and you look at what's going on in Colorado, and you look at what's going on where you're at, and then you look in California, and you look in New York, and you look in Illinois, and you see all these states have a lot of common things. Okay, and you look at other states, they're still doing it, but not as strong as the others.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're all said and done, all states will be the same, and the rules are only going to get worse.
Yeah, they don't get better. It's like 1984. It just gets worse and worse and worse. Like government never gives you freedom, and they don't take it away.
Yeah.
And the corporate overlords, they don't ever. And the 13 Illuminati fans you always talk about, like the book by Fritz Springmeier, they only want more power and control of it over us. Oligarchy does, so they don't give a fuck.
No, and men and women staying divided isn't the answer. Okay, just like if that report out of the United Kingdom of people trying to flee out of the country, if it's true, okay, I know there's a lot of things that is true over there because I talk to Harry all the time, and a lot of stuff does match up what's really going on over there. But the thing is this: if it was true that they got hundreds of people trying to flee from the lockdown, okay, well, I have to say one thing about it. What are they fleeing to? They got a spaceship?
Yeah, planet Earth is controlled by the oligarchs and the
Yeah, I
Illuminati
mean, so
completely.
where
So
are you
there's
fleeing
nowhere to
to?
go. A
I mean,
desert
unless you're
island,
leaving, yeah, unless you're
desert
leaving,
island on
yeah.
going to Mars or a desert island. That's the only places you can probably go. Even
And
desert
I
island
don't
might be
even know
taken
that
over
desert
too.
island out in the
And
middle of the Pacific somewhere would save you from anything. Good luck finding one. And if you could find one that was deserted, the technology they have, they'll know you're there.
yeah, they'll know you're there. If you have to bring any type of your smartwatch, your smartphone, your computer, they got you. Even if you don't
Oh,
have internet, they'll
no,
somehow track you
even
down. That thing
without
will
all that,
ping.
even without all that stuff, their damn radars have infrared and fucking heat
Oh yeah,
body
they can see
heat
a human being.
technology in it, and they'll fucking beam from space. Oh, well, look at here, we have a person.
Like, it's like they had that in Enemy, the old Will Smith movie, Enemy of the State. That was in '98. It's
Yeah,
probably
they've
even that's
been
probably
telling you. I
a
mean,
true
people
shit.
think, oh no, that's Hollywood. No, that's not Hollywood. That's their way of showing you
Hey, you heard of
technology they already have.
Songbird? You heard of the movie called Songbird? I know you don't really watch a lot of movies, but have you just at least heard about the movie called Songbird?
I don't know that I have. Tell me a little bit of what it's about.
Okay, I'll tell you what it's about. You don't have to watch the trash, but I'll tell you what it's about. It just came out. One of the few Hollywood movies coming out, right? Where it's about a bike carrier in 4 years from now, in 2023 or four, COVID 23 comes out, and you can't even leave the damn house unless you're immune to. They deem you immune to the COVID. It's a movie now. This is a movie, but it's a Michael Bay movie about you cannot leave the house unless they prove that you have immunity to COVID, and it's about a guy trying to find his girlfriend in LA with the COVID lockdown.
Yeah, I think what they did in this movie is they just shows you your future.
That's it, man.
Just by what you're telling me, I think they just showed you your future coming up.
I turned it. I was trying to watch the movie. It's a little boring and disturbing. It's a boring film yet disturbing because I know they're just telling me the future. I turned the trash off. I just like I don't even want to see this trash right now. It's so
Well,
depressing. It's like watching 1984.
but we can't turn this shit around or stop it because too many people are sound asleep. Too many people just don't care. Okay, and they think somehow they're not going to be affected by it, and they're actually complicit with it happening, and don't even know they are. Okay, and if
Nope.
you're going to be complicit with it happening and you know you are and you're doing it out of anger because you've been shit on in your life, you're not thinking about all the other people who've been shit on. You're not thinking about the root cause. The reason we're acting the way we're acting is thanks to the people that I'm fighting against.
Yeah, the Illuminati. But they have all the damn total monopoly money they can print out at thin air to control people.
That's why I said we have to walk away from the monetary system. We have to take it away from one or the other.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
we want to be
you got to
homeless.
stop allowing the money to control you. When they start telling you got to have a stick, you got to be jabbed in order to go back to work. I mean, that's when everybody in the company should just walk away. You know, well, but
Yeah,
there's millions of people. They ain't got one that will blah blah blah. But if people got online, if people got their heads out of their ass, nobody would ever go there to apply. They would all say up yours. And the minute everybody does that, guess what? They lose, you win, and you didn't even
right.
have to lift a gun.
Nope. That you could have a bloodless revolution. Everyone just
Exactly.
true stay at home order.
That's my point. When they say lockdown, people hit the streets by the thousands and thousands everywhere. Okay. They say close your businesses, you all open them up. That's the point. If they say, well, we're not blah blah blah, they shut off your electricity, you freaking get yourself emergency power in there, and you still run your business.
Yeah,
And if they
definitely.
start shutting
And
all your utilities off, then I guess people better rise up and go after the people who hold the keys. Because
yeah,
unless we fight back, you're going to lose. You can't win
yeah, I'm
being
an
a
idiot for
coward.
telling you. Yeah. Exactly, man. And I was an idiot for joining this shit, but man, it's like think about even Nat Turner, who said, "Shit, I'm scared of being a slave," or what we're told about 17. Well, it's a bullshit story or not. What we're told about 1776 is that they stood up against the British, but then America became a tyranny its damn self. Or there was a whole probably the plan from the beginning, Nick, the a government, the America of tyranny. Because what's the old saying? It goes that the hand that crushes a tyrant's head becomes a tyrant in its stead. So
Yeah.
same thing happened in Russia. They kicked the king out and then they replaced it with Lenin and Stalin. Those evil motherfuckers. Same shit, just a red coat of paint instead of white. I think it was white. The theme of the royalty was white. The theme of the communist is red. What's the fucking difference? A tyrant is still running the show, promising you that he's going to give you free bread, but the bread lines go around the damn city. Can't even get no damn bread.
Well, they sell you on it because the tyrant comes in doing good for you, so everybody sees him doing good. And then they all buy into it. And then by the time they buy into it and they put the frickin' person in a position, okay, then they give you a little bit of still doing good for you, and then they slowly take it all away from you. And next thing you know, you're in complete tyranny.
Yeah, there you go, man. You, it's just amazing how you know. And I kind of you gotta forgive that guy. You think so? Do you forgive guys that are like simping that mentally handicapped? Because we got one in our unit. He's like from a UK country, and he admitted having autism or
If
the
he's
low
mentally
the less
challenged,
severe autism.
yeah, if he's mentally challenged, you got to go with this. If they're already mentally challenged, they've been lied to like you have your whole life, like I have, or all of us have, right? And they're mentally
Yeah,
challenged, so they may not have the capacity to understand they're doing wrong.
yeah. That's why I always cut him slack and don't even tell them the truth because one, you can't understand it, and two, you can't wake up everybody from the matrix. Like some people, if they're mentally challenged, what they say, even the analogy of the matrix, even that film was made by Illuminati transgenders. Um, that you can't wake up everybody because they can't handle it. Their mind can't handle the truth. Like the Jack Nicholson movie, the Few Good Men with the military Navy movie, where Jack Nicholson says in the movie, "You can't handle the truth, Lieutenant." So not everybody can handle the truth.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people, this is all another pet peeve of mine. It just gets to me. Okay, Corey, everybody around just says, don't you lie to me. Don't you lie to me. Wow, they're all lying to each other.
Yeah, the whole damn system's a lie.
Yeah. And just about everything they've ever learned in their entire life has been a lie.
Yeah.
And try to get that through their head is like, what are you beating on a wall?
Yeah, I went back home early December. I just got back from being home came back on Monday, right, of this week. But try to give my mom some red pill knowledge or what I consider red pill is up to different definition, different people, but I try to give her some just red pill knowledge in general, right? I told her about the Georgia Guidestones. She kind of understood, but still didn't get it. That the elite are so damn bold with their tyranny. They put in North Georgia, they put up these giant tablets in 10 different languages and said that we want to limit the population to 500 million people, which is, if you know how big the earth is, that's insanely low. That means you got to kill like 12 out of 13 people.
Yeah. When you look at the size of the earth and you look at the amount of people there is, you're a long, long, long ways from being overpopulated. And you're not running out of anything. It's all created by these psychopaths.
Artificial scarcity.
Yes. When you say, well, look, the shipments ain't coming. Look, the stores are going empty. Well, man done. It's not because there's a shortage. We're using up all the oil. No, you're not. It's a renewable. The earth creates it automatically. When we stop pumping it, there'll be lakes of oil. But they're not going to tell you that because they want you to live only in certain regions where they're not pumping at, where the oil is not at, so that you will never see the lakes of oil.
Right? It could be a naturally generating substance like tar in the earth that just comes out, hydrocarbons.
Oil is a petroleum, and it's naturally produced by the earth. There is no shortage. There never has been a shortage. It's all lies. Every bit of it. And too many people can't keep up with the food. Bullshit. They shut hundreds and hundreds of farms down just in America. They paid farmers not to grow their crops. This has been going on for many years. Willie Nelson, a country singer, was fighting for the farmers' rights against Monsanto's for many years. Anybody that ever looked into the farming industry would find out that you've been duped. They've been setting you up the entire time.
Look at freaking the Monsanto, the way they do it. Like they have these like shit called, I don't know if you're familiar with this, the Terminator seeds. Basically, they make the plant sterile so the corn will grow, and then the corn, the actual kernels they're edible, I guess, these freaking corn seeds. But then they will not grow in the earth, them damn cells. So
No.
the farmer has to buy more corn from
You have to buy
Monsanto.
more can, and they did away with the seed industry. Most farmers used to allow their crops to grow to a percentage of the field would grow out to seed. Then they would go in there and collect the seeds off it for the next year's harvest. Well, Monsanto seeds don't grow out to seeds. It just rots and goes away. That way, next year you have to buy your seeds for your field from them. It's called monopolizing Monopoly, the game of Monopoly, right in your face. This is what they've done,
Yep,
and now
Monsanto.
you've got Burger King now selling a new sandwich that's plant based. My son actually bought one. He says, "What tastes like? It tastes like meat." Well, that's what they designed the plant for. It was created in a military laboratory. It's absolutely no good for your health, and that's going to be your new meat. That's part of the Agenda 21. You're not going to be allowed to kill cattle or pigs or anything for meat no more. I got necessarily don't have anything against that, okay? But what I do have against it is creating something that's no good for your health and then selling it onto you and watching you get sick and your lifespan get shorter.
Yeah, I know a vegetarian dude. He's a douchebag in my opinion, but he always says, "Oh, I can't eat. I throw up if I can't eat meat." It's okay. That's your body, bro. You can't eat meat. Okay, fine. I think the meat industry is. I think human beings were designed to eat meat, but the meat industry is abhorrent the way they do the animals. Like they don't do it like the way I kill an animal. I shoot him and make sure he doesn't suffer. If I like, there's many squirrels back home, right? I shoot the squirrels in the heart or in the head, and just thin out the population a little bit so they don't overpopulate because there's not enough snakes and shit to eat them. But I
Now,
don't
I
let them
worked
just they
temporarily
just
for
oh,
a
so shit.
very short time, Corey. I worked at a slaughterhouse that slaughtered pigs. Okay. I got to watch them steer these pigs in between two steel bar fence things. Okay, just posed basically, still posed, that they can't turn around. It's just narrow enough for them to go forward, but they won't be able to turn their bodies around. And they're steering them in, and as they come up, one person is hitting the pig on one side in the head with high voltage, while another person's got a razor sharp knife slicing its throat. And as it falls over the pit that it runs into when they do it, it's got this thing that grabs their hoofs and lifts them in the air and drags their body through hot water, softening up the skin of the hair, and then going through a machine that removes all the hair off their body and right on down the processing line, man, cut it up, blood drained, the whole 9 yards, and turn into meat. And when you look at what they're really doing, and you look at how animals are treated, even the bull in rodeos, they're tying a damn rope around the bull's nuts, putting the bull in pain to begin with so that the bull acts the way he acts. When the guy
Yeah,
sits on the bull's
he's
back,
really
it
not that
adds attention.
angry. Yeah, he's really not that angry. But then they irritate his genitals. He's gonna be angry.
Yeah. It's deliberately
Anybody
done to
would.
piss the animal off, to get the animal doing what he's doing. I mean, it's so cruel, it's not funny. You look at what they do with elephants in a circus. They abuse the hell out of these elephants to get them to do what they're doing.
It's horrible, man.
I mean, it's just
It's like
absolutely sickening that human beings do this to other animals and then the way we treat each other.
yeah, and they hoist up in Tyson chicken plant. I've seen videos. They hoist up the chickens and cut their heads off, and sometimes the blade doesn't kill them instantly, and the chickens are suffering and shit.
Yeah, they don't care. And we have a world full of people who don't care. And by the time they start caring, it's gonna be too late. Because they're
Yeah, but
all
then you
gonna
got
care.
guys
They're
like
all gonna care when it comes their way.
yeah, but they got like guys like the vegan gains who oh he's such a good person, right? He's a vegan vegetarian, right? Or a vegan, right? But yeah, always talks about killing human beings. He always jokes about killing people, but then you can't kill animals. So he's on the other extreme. This the idiot YouTuber called the Vegan Gains. He's always joking about killing people, but to save animal. Like what? Need to not kill animals humanely and not kill people. That's what the fuck they need to do.
Yeah, well, I gave the name of the live stream I gave, even though you're in the military. It wasn't to be sarcastic at you. It's the
No, I'm
fact of
totally
the
not
facts.
offended. I'm totally not offended, even though I know a guy, another ex-military guy, he was throwing shade on the military, saying the military's soft now, and that he didn't want to go there to Iraq and stay in the Gulf War because he was going to go and get blown up. So he got the fuck out, but then he ended up selling drugs and going to prison. So, but the military abandoned him, so they don't give a fuck about you.
No, they never have given a shit about you. The military, it's all a hoax to the people. I mean, think about all the commercials and their promotions and your recruiters and the way they talk about it and everything that's promised to you. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't get
it's
shit.
it's brainwashing from the very beginning to control you.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
You gotta call motherfuckers with a college degree, sir and ma'am, just because they go to college first. It's so fucking stupid. And then they just fucking have been bullying we're not on air, are we? Are we live still?
yeah, we're should be still alive.
Are we still
Yeah,
live? Okay. But anyway, say it doesn't want to change what I'm about to say anyway. I was just curious. But anyway, they're willing to send you off to go fucking die. And a motherfucker with a degree can just stand over there. He can stand in the rear echelon and watch the motherfucker that is almost done with his degree fucking die just for no reason. For fucking oil, conquest, imperialism, industrial complex, like you said, serial killer, industrial complex. Because the psychopaths at the top, they have the same mentality as the fucking the low level serial killers are just ain't got nothing on the top oligarchs.
that's
They just
it.
doing it on a
And the
smaller
top
scale, right?
oligarchs use the people to do their killing for them.
Yeah.
And they lie to the
They
people,
point
and
me.
it's like people thinking the governments are fighting each other. All this BS about Russia and all that crap. These governments are not fighting each other. They're all in bed with each other.
No.
It's a Hollywood
Yeah, I
act.
always said that about Russia.
They're saying all this crap because they want to pit the people against the people. It's for genocide. It's all a genocide plan.
They like Trump's puppet asses down with just the Russians. He's the only one. No, they are. The whole government's down with the Russians and the Chinamen and everybody.
You got that? That's exactly correct. Your governments globally are all working together. It's that there is no such thing as what went across the world. That's complete hogwash. It's the governments working together. And you have to use a fraudulent freaking test. A test that the creator of just conveniently dies before they start using it. Well, yeah, they had to make sure he was dead first. How could we sell our lie on the public if he was still alive? We'd have to kill him or shut him up because he'd tell everybody, he'd show everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the guy that invented the test to begin with, and he knows what it's supposed to do, and he knows that it will not detect the stuff, and that's the very test they're using to say, well, you're
thing with AIDS.
positive. You tested positive for being a human being.
This is AIDS, just the AIDS hoax on a bigger scale. That's all it is.
Yeah, on a
AIDS.
gigantic,
You cannot test for HIV.
Scale,
The test for HIV is a bunch of bullshit. It even says on the damn label.
When did you quarantine and lock people down that aren't sick? Quarantine were for
that don't even
people
make any
who
sense.
Sick. Not people.
I've been saying that too,
sick.
Bill.
What's that?
I've been saying that too, Bill. That quarantine was a term meant for people that are infected with the illness, not people like back in the Wild West days. A guy who had tuberculosis, he might isolate himself so he wouldn't cough on another person and give them, even though they kind of understood that the coughing gave the next person tuberculosis.
Quarantine
So he
was
would quarantine
always for the
himself and not.
people who are already infected. That's an absolutely correct statement. But now, see, because everything's upside down on his head, oh, you got to all quarantine, even if you're feeling good, and then, oh, well, don't worry, you might have this pretend bug that has no symptoms. Well, the reason it has no symptoms is because there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Where you look where the common cold went. Another guy I talked to called Dwayne McClain. He was talking about how made a good point. He's in the reserves, or no, I don't. No, I think he wants to keep that secret. My bad. But anyway, he he was saying that the whole thing, that where did the common cold go? Well, think about it. People get sick now. They go lock down for COVID just because they got a little bit of a stomach ache, a little bit of fever now. Then they test them, they put them, lock them away in a quarantine. They come out and they're fine. We had a guy that was Hispanic that did that. He said, "Oh, I didn't feel well." He quarantined and now he's fine. So what the fuck is that?
Well,
I mean, he just had a common cold.
you want to hear another funny one? This is right off their own damn bullshit. Government websites and CDC both. They gave the stats for the amount of deaths in 2019 were released, right? And what people died of, causes that people died of. Now, in every year before 2019, heart disease was at the top of the list, okay, for most common death for people, and it's just in America, right? Um, Heart disease, okay, and
Mhm.
behind heart disease was lung disease, and then okay, and then you had auto accidents and so on, right? And
Right.
then of course you had flu and influenza, all the numbers that. Well, guess what disappeared during the year of 2019? The flu and heart disease are non-existent. When you look at the actual numbers of deaths in 2019 with a pandemic going on, you actually, the numbers are in the same numbers they've been year after year after year after year, so there was no increase. Hold
Damn.
on. If you're in the middle of a pandemic and lots of people died, like you said, there should have been an increase. The reason there's no increase is because that's why heart disease disappeared. That's why the flu disappeared, because the people who died from these things was being, the name was being rededicated to a new name. So
They're
the
changing the
stats stayed the
definition.
same. That also explains why the hospitals were empty, why the clinics were empty right in your face. And then they lie to you and say, well, it's because people are too scared to come. BS. If you were sick and you were really definitely sick, you'd be going to the doctor. I don't know anybody that don't.
Yeah. No. Unless there's some crazy Mormon shit, that crazy shit, those crazy religious motherfuckers that don't believe in no doctors. Any person that's not a person of a weird cult is gonna go to the doctor if they're sick.
If then
Period.
they get sick
You
enough,
feel
they're
like you're
going to
gonna
the
die.
doctor. You might have some hardcores that'll hold out in the last minute, but you'd all end up in a doctor. I've been alive, sorry, too many years, and I've watched too much happen with my own eyes, even in my own town that I'm in right now, that I grew up in, and I've seen too much already. This is fraud on top of fraud.
Yeah, it's the biggest piece of bullshit I've ever seen because they've just mislabeled the influenza and common cold as some new shit when it's nothing new. You know, I was
Yeah,
just been joking. They're gonna relabel. They're gonna take classic people from history, and Doc Holliday from Wild West, Alexander the Greek from history, and just Genghis Khan, and say they all died of COVID now.
oh, you could bet they're gonna do this stuff. I mean, Corey. I mean, all she got to do is fall off a skyscraper and land on your head, and it was COVID. That was the actual cause of death.
Yeah,
So
that's why I've been joking. They
you
just
know,
people get for a person gets shot now is COVID complications. They got car wreck COVID, fall down the stairs COVID, every goddamn thing.
yeah, it's actually pretty freaking pathetic. It just annoys the hell out of me because I see so much crap going on. It's just like earlier in the chat, you seen the trolling, so I just made an example of them. I showed you why we're where we're at. That mentality right there is why we're where we're at right now. And if you don't want to be where you're at, if you don't want this shit that I'm talking about coming down on you, you're gonna say it ain't coming down on you. You're an idiot. Anybody that can't see what's going on by now, I don't think there's any hope, Corey.
No, they're too asleep. It's like the Matrix is a good analogy, even though it's an Illuminati movie where Lawrence Fishburne's, as Morpheus says, once they get too old, they can't be woken up because the mind can't handle the truth at that old of age,
What
that they're
happened to me
living in a
then?
dream world,
What happened to
So
me then?
I don't know. Yeah, so I think a few older guys can wake up, man, but most times your brain snaps if you wake up. I mean, there's also there was the fat guy that got kicked off of YouTube, but one eye called the ice how I see it, or the old dog new tricks. He was an old guy that woke up to he didn't wake up to 9/11 until like the mid 2000s. He was totally blue pilled until mid 2000s, but he eventually woke up, and I think he's in his 50s now. So there's guys that are older that do wake up. I can't explain it. I don't know how they can just change their whole paradigm to where
Well, they were
you know
probably already
the way you see
semi-awake to
it.
begin with. Okay. I think a lot of these older people you see in that they were already semi-awake to what was going on around them. And the more that happened, the more they looked, and maybe they kept their mouth shut for a bunch of years. They could have fallen into this bullshit about fitting in, not to be ridiculed, not want to earn, so just kept their mouth shut. I think that's some of them. I mean, there's not too many people. I mean, the majority of people, even like with Saturday Night Live, the majority of people who came in the chat would never come into the actual show. A few did, but most won't. Most are too
Mhm.
cowardly to put their voice out there.
Yeah, and that's so crazy. I understand keeping your face anonymous if you work certain jobs, but I don't understand why you only want to speak your truth anonymously. Like at least you could fucking do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you really care about the damn truth, speak it, man. Because there's nothing more powerful than the actual voice, man. Like when I see YouTube videos up and this guy that just is all just text, you have to read it. It's like if I wanted to read a book or article, I read that. Your voice, give the video your voice so people can just get the message quickly with your voice and move on. But they're afraid to speak it. You can't just be texting in the chat room and expect anything to change.
Now, the people that annoy me is, you got, from years back, we had a gal up here calling herself Rev Michelle Hopkins. And then she got married. Of course, then her last name changed from Hopkins to Mann. And she worked for NASA. And she was definitely a plant. She was an employee of the establishment. Okay. Well, now she's running down the name of, she's running, her account's still there with the Rev Michelle Hopkins, but she's taken a lot of the older videos down and she's only left certain selection up and she's not doing much with the channel. That's because she's still up every day making videos and she's going under the name of Nancy Morganheart. So you have to say to yourself, so who are you really? Because obviously your name
Yeah,
wasn't Michelle, and it's definitely not Nancy Morganheart. Okay, you are the same gal. Okay, this is just it. They constantly, I mean, YouTube is loaded full of people who are working for the establishment. And they got them by the balls because they're after what? The tool, money.
yeah, that paper, one eye
High Impact Flicks is another
on
one.
$1 bill. Yep, he's down. He's down for the money now. He loves some damn money. I was talking to a dude about last night about him.
That
A
type of
young guy.
mentality just pisses me off. How can you sit there and bitch about what's going on in this world and talk about how we're going to do this and this, and when you're all worried about keeping the people, the very thing that's keeping you enslaved is the money.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got TFL is so true because he, even though he doesn't have money yet, he's a good-looking white guy I talked to that's never been on a date and talking about he's MGTOW. I'm like, thinking, really, dude, you're more TFL than MGTOW. You don't even know it though.
Well, I said this a long time ago, man. I told people a long time ago that the majority of MGTOW are TFLers in denial.
I I believe it too. That's why I sympathize with your movement because I'm like that's very true when you say that most TFLers are MGTOW in denial and disguise. Oh, I can get out there and get a woman. I just choose not to. Bullshit.
Yeah, BS.
You will get married. You get married despite the fucked up marriage laws in America if a woman threw herself at you.
They're one blowjob away from being with her.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all it is. And these people are just, I mean, what can I say? These are what you call people that, well, they don't want to own the truth. They don't want to spell the truth because the truth bothers them inside, you know. I get trolled and attacked by people who are TFLers because they don't like me speaking out about the life they live because they're too big of a coward to look at where it came from, why it's here, and how we got to correct it. They don't want it corrected because they love their misery, huh?
No, they don't want it correct. But a lot, but they don't want to. The MGTOWs, they're half truthers. They don't want to wake up to the dating scene. It's fucked up from when you were maybe my age or younger. It's totally fucked up.
Oh,
If you're
God,
like,
it
what are you?
is. Oh,
You're
you don't got to
60
tell
now,
me.
so
I know the dating scene is completely demolished. It's destroyed. I mean, I do know this, Corey, and I feel sorry for the young guys. I really do. You know, I had a life of TFL until I was 28, and then since that time off and on, I've had women in my life, okay? And I'm at the point now that I just don't care anymore because I'm already at the end of my life, anyhow. And I see what's coming down this world, and I've fought so hard for so long to try to get men and women back together and to try to get people to see what they're doing to each other and how our behaviors but you're not going to get it done because they had way too many years because this shit was going on when I was a kid. You got to think about it. I was a kid, sound asleep like the rest of you. And this programming was going on then. Okay, so you got to
yeah,
figure by the
yeah.
time I started actually noticing and speak and looked in to see what the hell was going on and came online and started speaking out, they had all these decades of programming already accomplished.
Man, so you were born Christmas Eve in 1960, so that means you basically grew up in the 60s and 70s, and
Yeah,
that's when you were, a kid, prepubescent kid in the 60s, teenager in the 70s, grown man, young adult in the 80s. So it was totally, you saw that, you probably saw the degradation of the dating scene as you, even though you didn't even weren't aware to it, you saw the degradation of the dating scene slowly as you matured.
I
Till
did.
now, you
I
just saw
did,
it go tank,
And
take a
I
nosedive.
can tell you from my experiences from having women in your life in today's society, it's not even worth it. Because until men and women alike can start treating each other like human beings and not playing games with each other and not trying to be above one another and they can get their heads out of their ass and realize it is the sexual revolution that destroyed men and women. That was one of the major tools. It wasn't just feminism. It was the sexual revolution. It was the pushing pornography. It is the putting your mindset into getting laid. That's what they want.
Hmm. Don't get to know a person, whether you're compatible with their personality. Just stick your dick in there and just hope for the best. It's
Yep.
like
Use the
that's
dating
totally
advice
backwards.
that's in today's society, and you always be a loser and you always be TFL. Go ahead. Keep using the modern day dating scene advice. Keep using with how it is in today's society and enjoy your life of loneliness. And meanwhile, the elite are getting their wants because that's the reason they've done this. See, it
Yeah,
keeps us from
when
standing together.
yeah, I danced with the girl back on leave, but the chick turned out to be crazy. So I'm like, yo, it's like the women are just insane today. They're just out of control. It's like because the power that the lead have given them in the West is just insane.
They've got way too much power, okay? But then don't worry. The very people who put them on that pedestal will be the ones to take them off of it because they're planning on killing a lot of people off. And they're going to get by with it because nobody's doing nothing about it.
Yeah, there will be. Yeah, will be. They're gonna make a lot of kill. They got the what. One thing Alex Jones said was true is that they got all these coffins. FEMA has all these coffins ready, right,
Yeah, but the coffins they were
for
showing
when
you
they
actually,
whack us.
the coffins they were showing you actually ain't coffins. The big
What are they?
plastic liners with a lid, they're liners. They're liners. When they put the concrete vault in the ground, they put a plastic liner inside the vault. The coffin fits inside the liner, and then they put a plastic lid on it, and then they put the concrete lid over the top of that. Okay? When you open up a grave, you got to get the concrete lid. Most of the time, they end up having to break it off. Okay? Then they put a new concrete lid on it because it has a seal on it, so it don't come off easy. Then they reach down in there and pull the plastic lid off the liner, and then they reach down there and pull the coffin out. And then when they put it back, they put it back in the plastic liner. They sold to the people that them were coffins that hold more than one body. No, they wasn't. They were liners. Why was there so many? Because people die every year. Thousands of people die every year from old age, from heart disease, from this, from that. And for all the people that were being buried, it wasn't before they started disintegrating and cremation, they had to have stock on the liners for the vault that goes in. Because the vault, the concrete vault that they're putting in the ground, they experiment around, made some plastic vaults too, by the way. But the vaults they were putting in the ground is just like a square box without a top or without a bottom. And it fits down on the ground, keeping the walls of the ground from caving in or being washed, or coffin be able to be washed away. Then they put the coffin inside that. Then they put the freaking lid on they put the liner in it. Then they put the coffin in it. Okay, that's what that's about, because they don't want any moisture, something that could destroy the body if they have to resume the body for an autopsy or to look for somebody who's blah, blah, blah. So they're protecting the body as much as possible in case they have to resume it out of the ground years later in an investigation. Maybe the person died of foul play. You know what I'm saying? But people
Okay.
don't stop to think
So,
about these things, and then they lie to you and tell you that these plastic
well,
liners they showed you, whole freaking fields filled for them, right? And they sold it to you as FEMA coffins. Okay, nope, there never was coffins, dude. There were liners.
well, Alex Jones tells you half truths and whole lies. Sometimes he just tells
Yes.
you a whole damn lie.
Yep. It's just
So it
unfortunate.
depends
It's
on
just
what
unfortunate. The
agenda it is.
lies are literally that deep. And most people, unless they've been around the block a few times, don't know or don't realize that them are actually liners for the vault that goes in the ground when they bury somebody, that the coffin fits in. That's why it's the size it is. It's not the size it
Yeah,
is
but
because you put more than one body in it. What a clock, a load of shit. Okay, but that's what they fed you.
yeah, but I mean, eventually, man, I do think that we'll have that. I mean, the population is not. I don't think population overpopulation is an issue, but how are we gonna? How are they gonna have all these people do traditional burials? If how where are they gonna? It didn't. The funeral business is a big scam, in my opinion,
Oh, it is.
because you're
There's
paying all
no
this
way in
money just
hell it
for your
should ever
dead
cost as
corpse
much
to be
as it
preserved.
does. Yeah. I
To
mean,
preserve your corpse, and what reason? I mean,
yeah.
why?
Well,
Why do you need to preserve your corpse when you're dead anyway?
I took my son's mother back to Colorado for her dad's funeral, and her dad and mother had paid for their funeral. Oh, it reconnected me. That was nice of them. So anyhow, they paid for their funeral years ago, coffin and everything, right? Well,
Right.
now they had to try to come up with a coffin. Now they needed another $5,000, and then, and all this was about is the fact they don't like the fact that when they paid it off, the prices have gone up and they're losing money on this. Well, if you would have taken the stuff when it was that price and put it up, you wouldn't be losing money on it now, would you? I mean, that's really where
So
that come
they're
from.
mad. The funeral company is mad because the man had already paid off his funeral plan.
Well, they make the cremation more affordable for people because they'd rather you cremate them anyhow, because then it's just ashes to deal with and it don't eat up the ground room, right? You don't need a liner for the ground, or you don't need a vault for the ground. You don't need a coffin. I mean, it's less stuff you don't need.
Yeah, you
Okay,
just boom,
so yeah,
burn them
they push
up, and
that,
that's it.
and if you the cheapest funeral I can think of nowadays is like $10,000, $12,000, and that's a generic dirt cheap one. Okay, so you're talking a lot of money. It's retarded. You can't be born into this world without talking a lot of money, and you can't even go out of this world without talking a lot of money. And but it's all money is a man-made construct to begin with.
It is. It's totally artificial. There is no concept in nature where a green piece of paper controls every aspect of life.
It
That
is.
wasn't until the white. It wasn't here until mainly the white man invaded and introduced that. The Spanish and the English introduced that concept of gold as coins, as money, and eventually go to paper
Well, and then
to hold the
it's like
place of gold.
the digital money they're getting ready to hand to you as they do away with cash and make you into a cashless society. People can't get it through their head how that's going to be their demise. Just think about it. We're going to go digital. You ain't got to worry about a bank robbery no more. You can close the banks and blah blah blah. And now the entity controls everything you get in digital currency, right? Okay, now we're going to
Right.
drop the power. Oh shit, your city's without power for 6 months because the power grid failed, or for 3 months, or for 2 months, right? Well, it don't matter even if it's for a month or even if it's for a week, because the reality is, well, guess what? You ain't got access to no more. Your money. It's digital. There ain't no power. Everything takes electricity. How you gonna scan your card? Oh, sorry, there ain't no electricity. Can't scan it. Can't buy anything.
Mm. That's crazy to think about how they could also, if you go against, if you they find out you're Mr. Great House and you speak out against the agendas, they can just shut off
Oh well,
your digital money and you're
they
done.
already know that I'm Mr. Great House, and they already know what I do because they've been censoring me for years. So I'm not too worried about that. But like I said, I'm at the end of my time anyhow. What are you gonna do? Kill me? So what? I'm already dying. Fuck you. there's
I
my
like that
there's
attitude.
there's my that is my attitude. Fuck you. So fucking what?
Get Go ahead and you're like, hey, I ain't got all day. If you're gonna do it, do
That's
it.
it. You're gonna get it done. Get it done. Get her done. Okay, that's how that works.
But
Okay, and scare me a little goddamn bit. Nope, take me out. I don't care. Okay, because the reality is the reality. I mean, you unfortunately people got to be in my mindset if you're ever going to stand a chance of fighting back. Because if you're scared of getting
well, we're
hurt or
not
scared
much
of
right
dying,
there.
you lose. You lost.
That is true. I gotta get there myself where I'm just like, fuck it. You know, just go AWOL and say fuck it. Because you're not gonna fucking just kill me off or stick some poison in my vein.
Well, I
They
don't
want
know.
to
I
do
don't know
it.
when
They
your
want to.
term. I don't know when your term is up. But if you're still alive and hit it, I'd say get the hell out of there.
Oh yeah. Not.
I wouldn't tell you to hold
mm,
on to being where you're at because where you're at's in a bad spot.
Yeah, because they're gonna ramp it up here soon.
They are. There's no doubt
And
about it.
in the civilian market, the jobs are they only if you don't go through the bullshit of called school and get a healthcare job, man, the job market is horrible out there.
Well, the healthcare job's going to be gone
Basically,
too because if you pay attention to Agenda 21, medical system will no longer be like it is now. Under Agenda 21, they already have the technology. Don't fool yourselves, okay? They're going to be closing the majority of clinics and hospitals down. There'll be some hospitals left, but the majority will be shut down. The majority of the medical staff will be let go and won't have a job. Why is that? Because they got these brand new machines that they're going to be putting your next newest clinic will be called Walmart. And you will go in there to this Walmart where they'll have this machine that the employees will be trained to run. And this machine will take some blood from you and will do a diagnosis on you and spit out a freaking piece of paper for a prescription. And if you actually need more than that, then the machine will set out a paper and then you can get an appointment and go see somebody at the hospital.
it's gonna be mainly digital. I mean, mainly automated.
Mainly, yes.
So
Once again, yes. Okay, so even the I mean, the fourth industrial revolution is going to do away with so many jobs. I mean, you wonder why they're running the small businesses out. It ain't just for the corporations. Corporations could go on building for the stores, so you have them jobs. The medical system's going to collapse because it's going to be redesigned, redeveloped into what I was just telling you. And people that don't think this stuff ain't true, well, it is absolutely 100% true.
it's just crazy to think about.
Nothing's going to be the way
Oh,
it
there's
was. Nothing. Everything's going to change. All of the belief systems will be changed within a few decades from the new what they're bringing in. Okay, so you're right back to they even got a one world religion. That's right. You're going to do away with all religions. It's going to be a one world religion.
what the Force from Star Wars.
It's about,
What's
well,
gonna
the
be the
one
religion?
world religion has basically been based out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. And there's a building there that's shaped like a pyramid, and this is where they're working at it on. And they've even got a channel up on YouTube. Okay, and it is literally the new religion. What they want to bring in as a one world religion. And these are all people that are higher ups working with the elite. all out of that damn building, okay? You're talking about 33-degree Masons and shit like this, and people that were in media for years, and these people have been creating this one world religion, and this has been going on for a couple of decades and a little longer now. Then you get people like Ole
Yeah.
Demigard who comes up and preaches love and light. Okay, you got to forgiveness. Okay,
What
Corey,
the heck?
you got to be forgiving. I
What
don't
the
care
hell?
what he done to you. You need to give him a hug and forgive them, Corey.
What? Come on.
I know,
Do you
but
watch
I'm
Truth
not lying
Virus?
to you,
You
dude.
watch
This is
you
all
watch
as real as it's all as
no.
real as real,
You watch
man.
you watch Truth Virus? You watch Truth Virus?
I
He's been
haven't
around forever,
watched
but his
Truth
channel's been
Virus. No.
no, but he's a guy. I think he's from Detroit. He's a guy that's been ranting about the league for years, but he don't really offer any solutions. But he does break down what they're doing about how they're psychopathic guys that he calls them the Illusionati because most of the shit they do is illusions and lies.
Yeah, well,
So
they
these
are.
dudes talk about how they're gonna do War 3.
Well, Long Hiker, our lone hiker there, he says that he says small businesses and industry are very important to our freedom. Well, the world you grew up in and live with, small businesses are important. But unless people start standing up and fighting back and saying no and not complying, kiss them goodbye.
Yeah, because there no one is there to see to fight them and keep the business open, keep the small business open. No,
No, and
they're
then the
going the way
business
of the
owner
dodo.
goes in there and tries to keep us. Maybe he's running a gym, or maybe he's running a small pop and a small grocery store, in a small town or whatever. He's fighting to keep, and they're fighting to keep their gyms open or this open and that open. And meanwhile, your corporations, Walgreens and all of your pharmacies and your Walmarts and your Targets, they're all open. They're not affected by it.
No, they can stay open indefinitely. I went to Walmart the other day. It's pretty dang packed.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate for what I've watched them coming in, and I know what's coming, and I've been watching this for so long, and I wasn't saying lightly back a few months ago when I was doing the live streams, and I told people there's going to be a second round. This is not going away. This is only going to escalate, and it's only going to get worse. And you're going to lose everything. I mean, everything. And nobody cares. They all somehow think they're a special little snowflake that's not going to be affected by it.
That's so stupid.
Blows me away. Well, hey, I'm gonna
Hey, I
end, I'm
mean,
gonna end the live stream for now. You can stand if you want,
okay,
Corey, but I'm gonna end the
okay.
live stream part.
I'm gonna go eat here in probably roughly 15 minutes from now. But I'll talk to you another 15 minutes or so.
Okay,
But yeah,
well,
man.
I'm gonna jump off the
What do you
live
think?
stream real quick, okay, guys?
Okay,
I don't know when I'll come
go
back
ahead.
up again, but I'll be back up again sooner or later. I'm not dead first, right?
Right, right. If we don't die, if they don't kill me and put me in front of the firing squad, and they don't kill and they don't try to whack Bill,